Hello and welcome to this section. In this section, we will learn about text variables. This section mainly includes the following knowledge points. First, we will introduce what our text variables are. Then we will talk about the usage scenarios of text variables. Finally, we will introduce some basic uses of the text variable. First, let's go to the first point, the introduction of the widget of the text variable. The text variable is a data widget used to store a single character or string. If the variable is used to store numbers, it will also be stored in the form of text. In addition to the ability to assign values to text variables can also operate on their own storage, including our add characters, delete a location character, delete instruction characters, intercept characters to generate random strings, split strings and search characters and other functions. Then let's take a look at some usage scenarios of text variables. Generally speaking, our text variables are generally used to store the user's identity information. Our ID, nickname, avatar, picture, resource address, etc. are all stored with our text variables. One of the biggest differences between text variables and numerical variables is their use scenarios. After we learn about numerical variables in the next lesson, we will distinguish between text variables and numerical variables. Then we will talk about the basic usage of our variable. When we learn a widget, we will learn according to its three elements, its property, event, and action of a widget. But for a variable, it does not trigger any event, so we focus on learning its property and action. Then let's open the editor and start our study of text variables. First of all, let's open our editor, change the name here to our text variable, and then click Create, so we have completed the creation of an application. Next, we will form a good habit. Here, we will add a page under the front end. Although we will not do anything substantially like the UI this time, we will still add a page to form such a good habit. Then, if we want to add a text variable at the bottom of the page, how do we add it? Note that we first select our parent, that is, our page 1, and then we select a series of yellow widget on the left side. The yellow series of widget are all our variable widget. The first widget is our text variable. You can also note that it is exactly the same as I just said. For any of our variables, it has property and action, but it has no event. What does it mean without event? Let me show you. I add our text variable here, and then I add our button under our page. Let's observe that our button has property, action and event, and what is event? It is its trigger event. When it is added to the event, and it is in the trigger event of the drop-down menu, which trigger event will be there, and these events are actually the event that we can see in the property column. Let's delete this one first. Let's take a look at the event of our text variable. When I click to add an event to the text variable, I can see from the drop-down menu that there is no triggering event. Therefore, in the follow-up study of our variables, we will not demonstrate its event again, because for variables, it itself there is no event, so we have to learn its property and some of its actions. So first of all, let's learn the property of our text variable. We can see, what is the largest property of all our variables? Is its value, because what is its core role for variables? Storage and operation. No matter what result it needs to calculate, or what value it needs to store, it certainly needs a content. So here I give you a simple example. Here I write a value for him. For example, our value is the value of the text variable. Okay, so we attach an initial value to it. Then when we click this button, we trigger an event called print. This is an event that we often use in variable use in our console. Let's take a look at the value of the variable. Here we will add an event. When such a button is clicked, we will select one of our text variables. This is also an action shared by all our variables. What action? In the drop-down menu, this action is to print the current value, and printing the current value is to console the logo is printed. Here is a simple demonstration for you. I choose to print the current value, and then have a preview. As for our text variable, you can see that it stores such a # plus hexadecimal color code. Why should we separate such a color type here? This is because, if we carry a color type here, we can automatically call our palette when assigning values to our color. For us, as long as we can roughly make a selection with such a palette, we don't need to make an input on it, but in fact, whether our palette is us, we directly input a color here. For example, I directly input a color here. You see, when I lose focus, a color still appears here. So, what is the function of this palette in the final analysis? When I choose color, or just make it convenient for us to come out with a palette, that's all. So similarly, isn't there a picture upload below? This is not to say that we can let it have such a picture upload function, but what kind of method is used for the real display of a picture? Here we will take you to review it. Although we have talked about it before, when I choose a picture, I will upload a picture randomly. This is one of our pictures. You can see it here. There will be a picture of the material address, and for any media widget, how do we see it? Note that we repeat what I said before. It goes to our resource server. According to its path address and a relative address here, we can access such a picture only after we get the complete address of such a picture. So if I delete such a picture material, I can see whether the picture disappears immediately, and then delete the picture. I'll add another picture material here. I won't upload it. Then I think I'll copy it here to the string I just uploaded. Our so-called text. You see, because a relative address is spliced, is it also displayed? So also in our text variable, the reason why we choose to upload the picture is not that we can make it have the function of a picture here, but because you choose to upload the picture here, we will automatically call a picture upload interface for you, and help you copy the address of such a text that it finally gets to us a text variable of, which is equivalent to the temporary storage of an address, and here we provide an upload path. You see, for example, I uploaded a microphone here. I copied an address of the microphone and asked me to replace a resource address of such a picture. I replaced the background color slightly. You see, there is also a microphone, so we must understand it better. That is, the text variable, in the final analysis, is just a change for storing a string of characters, whether it's our picture upload or not, whether it's our string of characters in the picture upload, or if I choose our color, in the final analysis, it's all characters, but here you choose different types. We can help you do some simple operations, that's all. After understanding a series of properties of our text variable, we will talk about a series of actions of the text variable. Here, we should change one of its types into a normal one. Then, we can input some position test 123 randomly. We can see that here I have a test 123 in English, and then I will directly carry out a preview. When I click the print value here, I can see that the value of text variable 1 here is a test. 123 simply prints the value here. Then we will learn the text variable and its series of actions. First of all, we learn that the most classic action is our assignment event. Then we change the name to our assignment. This is how we assign a value to a text variable. How to assign a value to a text variable is very simple. I believe that if you have a full understanding of the event, you can guess it when the button is clicked, we choose who is assigned, and our text variables are copied, right? So we select a text variable for our target object, and select it in the action of the drop-down menu. The first one is our assigned value, and then we can copy it here. If it is called a new value, 123, this is our negative value. Then we can make a preview, and we can see that when I print it for the first time to see that it is test 123, why? Because its original property value is test 123, and then I make a copy of it. After the assignment, I click print to see that it becomes a new value 123. Therefore, this also shows a feature of our data, that is, any of our data is not traceable, that is, when it is over at that time, it will be gone, it will be occupied and replaced, and the original value will not be obtained. Okay, after the assignment is finished, we will learn our next event. We will learn an additional character of it. How to use this event. When the button is clicked, we will call our text variable, and let it execute a content of the added character. This is not an added character. You can choose a direction, from the beginning to the end or not from the end to the end. Here is a simple demonstration for everyone. Here we will add from beginning to end, and then we can write the position of the character casually here. Let's add it at position 0 first. Here is the world's characters. We will take a character like quisk. Let's have a preview. Then, let's change your test here. There are 5 characters in total. Let's start with the 5th digit, and then select a print here. It was originally like this. Let's add characters and print again. You can see that it starts from the 5th digit of the test, adds one of our quizzes, then puts it down, and then adds one of our 123. So this is a way to add characters, and then we will learn its next action, delete the character in a certain position, which is called delete character here. In the same way, we still add event for it. When it is clicked, we call our text variable to let it perform an action, and delete a position symbol. Note that there are 2 methods to delete characters. One is to delete a character at a certain position, the other is to delete a specified character. We have been doing a demonstration. Here, let's first select this to delete an organization service. In the same direction, let's choose from head to tail or from tail to head. In other words, do you want the number in the positive direction or the number in the reverse direction? Here we are just demonstrate one directly. For example, from the beginning to the end, I want to delete 1 character in my D0 position, and then I want to delete 2. I can see that 2 characters are generated from the 0 position from the beginning to the end. Let's take a look at the text variable we have so far. It is test 123. From the beginning to the end, does it start from the 1st digit, and then delete 2 digits? No, C is gone, and then it becomes 123. Let's have a look. When I click print, I can see the content of test 123, and then when I click delete payment, I print it again. It becomes the content of 123, so similarly, if we print from end to end, can we delete 2 people here and lose our 3? Let's take a look again. We can see whether there is no 2 or 3 characters, so this is a problem of deleting characters in a certain position. Therefore, we should make sure that our position is recorded from position 0. If you want to delete a character in position 1, it is a character in position 0, and you want to delete the second character, it is a character in position 1-bit character. For our entire data, in fact, it starts from position 0. It's good for us to form such a conditional reflection. Then, there is another method of deletion called our deletion of specified characters. What does this mean? You can see that here, you can directly enter the content of a specified character. For example, I want to delete 3 characters like sure. I can just say it directly. Then when I print it first, I can see that test 123 comes out, then click delete character, and then I print it again. I can see that the whole character is gone, right? Then we make a little adjustment here. For example, we call it 123112233 here, and we change it to this way. Then we delete the characters, and we change it, and we delete 1 here. Let's take a look at its effect. When I make a preview, when I click print first, it can see such a long string, and then click delete characters. When I print again, I can see that he deleted all the contents of clothes stained in me, so this is completely different from our previous deletion method. This is not to delete the specified character. As long as he has such a specified word, he will pay you all such a series of instructions for deletion. Then we will talk about its intercepting character. Similarly, we will also intercept the character and add an event. When it is clicked, we will call the intercepting character action in the text variable. Then we will talk about its intercepting character and intercepting character. It needs to write a start position and an end position. We are here while selecting so many text variables, let's write it here. Let's have a 1212, then qui, and then 1212. We just want to intercept the qui inside. What should we do? Let's cut off such a graph first, which is the value of our current text variable. When we choose one of our intercepted characters, we can see which bits we want to cut from to. Let's take a look at 1212. How many are these? 0, 1, 2, 3, right? So we start at number 4 because number 4 is Q, right? The 4th bit is Q, the 5th bit is W, and the 6th bit is E, so we're going to intercept one of its 4-6 bits, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Note that this is the first one. First, it occupies the position 0, so it is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So in the end, we have to solve the problem of 45, 64, 6 bits. So here we start to write for all the time, and write 6 at the end, and then we also have a preview. Then when I print a character, I can see that it is only the value of the property on our side, and then click to intercept the character, and then we click to print again, and it becomes qui. So pay attention to intercept the character. It is to directly operate on the original text variable directly, so it is to directly intercept the original value and conduct an operation a replacement for the value. And then down is a very, very important event for us. Here we still add a button to trigger. It is our generated string. We can see that we also trigger such an event through an event. When it is clicked, we call our text variable and let it execute our generated random string. For this random string, we will write its length and its type. The type is selected in the drop-down menu. Then there is a feature that is our search string. Here we also add a button, which is called search character. Similarly, we click event to trigger it. When it is clicked, we let the win variable execute a content called search string. Why don't we talk about splitting strings first? Because splitting strings needs to be split into an array. Here, after we finish learning one-dimensional arrays, we will come back to such an event. So here we talk about a function of one of our search characters. We can see whether the search character is exactly the same as the deletion character we just used. It needs us to write a specific character. You can see that our current value is such a value. So I write a qui here. When it is finished, it is in the drop-down list whether there will be a correlation parameter automatically or not. You can see that the search character automatically takes a completion time, so we also debug the record in the application system, where we can find such a search result in the drop-down menu. Then here we can also annotate the above is the search results, and then we can have a preview. We can see that its initial value is such a value, and then when I click a button here, which is a result of our search, we can see that he said in position 4. Position 4 is a position of our qui. Let's check. 1 is what do you? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Is it true that qui's q starts from position 4? Therefore, our text variable has a series of relatively simple event. You can also play in the action by yourself. This kind of event adds an understanding. That's all the content of this section. Thank you for watching.